Linda. My YouTube channel is Beautiful Fibers. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the items that I made during August 2025 that coincided with the Make-Along hosted by Angela of Yarn and Yarn's YouTube channel. So this month, the prompts that Angela had were one color, before 2025, multicolor, crochet. And then I also chose a mending project and a whip. For the one color item, I will just address the elephant in the room. I finished my Hitchhiker shawl. This is the first shawl I've ever completed. I love the little teeth. It was fun. It was a repeat of maybe 8 or 10 rows. I wasn't able to memorize it, but I just used a checklist to tick them all off. I have a little design element in mine. My friend laughed at me because mine, instead of coming to a point, it looks more like, I don't know, a dragon tail or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm very happy with it. The yarn was yarn that I had in my stash. I believe it came from Miss Babs, but I'm not 100% positive because I had it for quite a while. I have to pause. My bunny's eating a leaf. Sorry about the interruption. I babysit my daughter's bunny, and if you heard a little bit of nibbling or crunching in the background, he had gotten a hold of one of my plant's leaves that fell on the floor. Anyway, back to Hitchhiker. I love the color. This was the one that I had to blend 2 different colors together. So you'll see on the edge, it looks a teeny bit more purpley. And on the upper part, it looks a little more just the color denim blue. But I like it. Overall, it looks really nice. It doesn't match the outfit I have on today, but it's nice. And actually, I'm going to take it off because it's a little bit warm. I just wanted to show it off. So, it's pretty long. And like I said, this is my first shawl that I've ever completed. Even though I've been a knitter for a number of years, I don't care for scarves. I get bored with them. When I knit scarves, it seems like they never end. And I also have never completed a shawl before, I think because of the same reason. I just haven't found one that caught my attention. But this was a great pattern. And the pattern was by Martina Behm. And she is Strickmich on Instagram. And I believe also on Ravelry. The second item that I worked on for August was, according to Angela's prompt, it had to be something that was before 2025. I have a lot of whips in progress, but I went back to the oldest one. And my oldest one was some knitted knockers. In case you're not familiar with knitted knockers, it's a program that was established by, I don't remember the person who wrote it up, but I will put the information in my show notes. These are for women who have had breast cancer and have had mastectomies, and sometimes they choose to have reconstructive surgery, but they can't wear the prosthesis right away. But this is soft and comfortable. This is something that they can wear close to the skin. It's washable. It's stuffed with fiberfill, so you can pull the fiberfill out and wash it. It's made out of a soft mercerized Pima cotton, and it goes quickly. I knit this using double pointed needles. I actually knit a few because I had quite a few balls of yarn that hadn't been completed. For anyone who's interested in participating, I'm going to leave the information in my notes. They have crocheted versions. They have versions that you can knit flat with 2 needles. They have versions you can knit with double pointed needles, and it just is a great cause. What I will do now is I will take these and I will take them to my local yarn shop, and they have a program where they will send it to Knitted Knockers. It's a great program. I used to do it years ago, and I don't know why I stopped. I really need to get back into doing that. It's my yarn shop will provide me with the yarn to knit it, and all I have to do is knit it and take it back. Possibly yours might also. Great program, and I'm glad that I finished these. The third item that I worked on, the prompt was multicolor. I ended up not working on the one that I wanted to do because I have a lot of indecision about that project in particular, but I will go back to that another day. However, I did work on, this pattern is called Rustic Red One. and it is a Santa hat. I don't know if any of you have watched the movie came out last Christmas called Red One, and it was about Santa. It was more of a modern day Santa. Anyway, this is the Christmas hat, and I'm knitting this as a gift. So it's going to be 2 colors. The yarn is Knit Picks Tweed, and it's a worsted weight. The colors are, I think, oatmeal. Hold on. I'm sorry. I should have had it ready. Wool of the Andes, tweed, and gingham heather. And I think I chose oatmeal, or picket fence, I think it's called. Picket fence and gingham heather. I love Knit Picks yarn. It's really nice. And I love this rustic tweedy look in the yarn. And I'm hoping that it'll fit. It's my plan to knit this one, and my sister loved the hat so much, I did tell her that if she bought the yarn, I would knit one for her. But I am teaching my sister to knit, so possibly she will knit it herself. Also, just a FYI on this one, I've knit hats before, but this one called for a German cast on, which gives you like a stretchier cast on. I had such a difficult time with this cast on. I looked at several different tutorials. Sometimes it takes more than one tutorial to figure it out. Finally, I went to my friend's house, and she's left-handed, I'm right-handed, but we sat there, the two of us, looking at a tutorial, and finally it clicked. I will try to do a small tutorial of my own to show you how I did it, because it's not my normal cast on, but it was nice. And I normally, when I knit socks, I knit from the toe up because I don't know of a stretchy cast on, but this one they said is great for knitting socks, so I might give that a try on the next pair of socks that I make. Anyway, that's Red One, Rustic Red One. The 4th item that I worked on, it said a crochet project. I showed you my project last month for July. I made the French press cozy. I gave that one to my daughter, and I just finished up another one for myself. This time I actually followed the directions, and I put the correct number of stitches, and it worked out pretty good. It still gaps a little bit in the back, but that's okay. And then I chose a button from Stash. I tried to just pick something that stood out a little bit, but it's a French press cozy, and it was a fun, quick project. Great way to use up your scraps, and it kept my coffee warm. So I like that one. I feel like I'm rushing through. I apologize. Those are my 4 items according to the prompts that Angela said. However, I also chose I put items that I want to mend on a random wheel chooser. I think it's called Tiny Decisions or something. And one of the items that popped up was, for my mending, was I made socks for my sister, I don't know, about a year ago, and somehow she got a hole in it. I don't know how. I won't ask any questions, but she got a hole in it. Even though I've knit for a long time, I'm not very great at mending. So I ended up, I'll try to put a picture of the hole on either side of me to show you what it looked like, because that was the before picture. But I ended up not being able to pick up the stitch and fix it. So I ripped back. The hole occurred somewhere in the heel, and I ended up ripping all the way back to the heel. I didn't weave it on my ends yet. All the way back to here, and then I re-knit all of the top part, and then I re-knit the heel. But I'm happy with the way it turned out. These are socks that I made for her. This is it on the stitch blocker, sock blocker. And here's the other one. This is the one that I repaired. So now I can weave in the ends and give it to my sister, and that will be one item off of my list. And I'm happy about that. So actually, when I looked at my mending list, it's not as big as I had thought at first, so that's a good thing. All right, that was for my mending. The other prompt that I chose was for items that either are works in progress that I've never completed, or possibly kits that I purchased and I haven't done yet. So I spun the wheel, and what came up was a sampler that I started years ago. It was a lot of fun. It's an embroidery sampler. It's put out by Dropcloth. I had done everything except the bullion knot. Oops. I'm going to try to show it closely. I will try to get a close-up picture and put it in there. Let me tell you about that knot. It was not easy. It was tricky for me. I might have had the wrong size needle. I think I might have. I think that was a problem. The designer of the embroidery piece is named Ringquist, and she recommends that you use a milliner's needle, which I didn't have. So I just used a regular embroidery needle, and it was so difficult for me to get that knot made. But in the end, I'm very happy with the progress. This embroidery piece in particular, I haven't decided exactly what to do with it, but I'm leaning towards making it a pillow front. That's what I would like to do, have it as a throw pillow, but have this as the front. And then for the back, I wanted to do something a little different. I've explored English paper piecing a little bit in the past, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was a nice portable craft, and it gave, I don't know, as a crafter, I have to be careful with my hands to make sure I'm not doing the same steps, procedures over and over and over and over. So I like to change up knitting needles, crochet possibly, sewing. I like to have a variety so I'm not putting so much stress on my hands. So in this case, I'm choosing English paper piecing, and these are the colors that I chose. These are fabric straps that came from another friend. These are blueberries, more blueberries, more blueberries, and then a few solids. More blueberries and some solids. I don't know where these solids came from. I happened to find them in my stash. I don't remember who gave them to me or how I got them, but I like them, and I think they add a nice little contrast to this. So that will be a project that I'm going to work on, you know, I guess over the fall into the winter, cutting them up into the little pieces, the little hexagons. I'm going to do hexagons, 1 inch hexagons, and then I will use that and make a back for my pillow. So this is going to be, this isn't complete. I'm going to put it back into my wheel, and instead of having it as the embroidered piece, I'm going to have the pillow back, and I will use that as a project. And that is all I have to talk to you for this one. I will come back again shortly so that I can talk about other items that I made. And the only thing I did want to add for this part, I know I said before that I probably won't talk about books very often. I don't read, my books are interesting to me, but maybe not necessarily interesting to other people. However, this one I found extremely interesting. This came from one of my friends. She gave it to me. It's called A Glorious Freedom, Older Women Leading Extraordinary Lives by Lisa Condon. What I enjoyed about this book is that it has little biographies and interviews of various women who are, I guess, age 40 and over. I'll give you a sampling of some of the people that they interview or they write about. They wrote about Vera Wang. Let me see. Some of the people, Laura Ingalls Wilder, Julia Child. I'm trying to say names that are more in the public eye. There are others and people that I haven't heard of. Ava Zeisel, or Zazel, I think I pronounced it wrong. Grandma Moses, Dara Torres. And it's about extraordinary women, well, actually ordinary women who have done extraordinary things with their life, age 40 and beyond. And some of these women were well into their 90s when they are still practicing in their field or in their endeavors or what their pursuits. Very good book. I read it over the course of maybe 2 or 3 weeks, reading a little biography a day. I tried now, I found out that I was consuming a little bit too much news and media coming in, and I decided to try to do a little bit more reading, maybe read a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening, just to kind of slow down, and I found this quite enjoyable if this is something that you would like to read. And that is definitely it for now, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you, and bye.